everyone, so welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be playing around with some drugstore products. I pulled some new products, sprinkled in a few that I've used before from first impressions that I'm still continuing to test to kind of formulate my opinions, to really give you a thorough review on it eventually at some point. I'm going to sort of try mixing some things together and just playing and having fun with makeup, because that's what I love about makeup. It's just the enjoyment and the happiness that it brings me. So we're going to get ready together. Let's get our makeup goodies out, let's pick our favorite products, and let's get ready. So as you can see, I have nothing on my skin except skincare. My skincare has been sitting on my skin for a couple of hours. I did tweak a little bit my moisturizer to see how that affects the wear of the complexion product that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to start with primer first before we do foundation. And I have the poreless primer, the Putty from e.l.f., this small little like gift with purchase, and then I have the liquid. So I'm kind of torn between which one I want to use. I don't know if it will be a good idea to go this kind of putty texture or maybe the liquid. I think I might just do the liquid, give it a good shake. And I'm gonna use a brush. This is a Sigma F47. It's a multitask brush. It's meant to be used for many different steps in the routine. But I sometimes use my fingers for primers and products, but then at the end of the day, I just don't like having makeup all over my fingers because it gets everywhere. It gets on my products, on my computer, my monitor screen, it gets everywhere, the mirrors, and it creates more work for me. So I tend to use brushes, and maybe that does affect how these types of putty, like pore filling primers tend to work, because you're supposed to kind of massage it in, really push it in to the pores and really kind of smooth things over, but we're just gonna make it work. And I'm adding tiny bits at a time just to get a nice even layer. So I want to revisit this product from CoverGirl. I did a video all about this product because it was viral, it sold out. I finally got a notification from Ulta that it was back in stock. I ordered shade 20. So if you want to see my initial thoughts, the video cards above the screen will take you to that video. But I want to continue testing this out. And then I decided to mix a little bit of the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop today, because this does make me dewy, especially by the end of the day. I do feel like I need to do some setting powder, blotting powder, some type of blotting sheet, because it is more dewy than I personally like on myself. So I'm just gonna mix a little bit of the NYX. I'm shaking it up. I wear shade Porcelain in this foundation. I'm just gonna do one pump of each, mix it, and start applying. Here we go. So I'm using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation brush, which I actually really do like. It's a $15 brush that is angled, very densely packed. It has a little bit of stiffness, but it's soft bristles, and it really does buff in the foundations quite nicely. I still have some visible marks and scarring. I have a little bit of some residual little red bumps from breaking out thanks to the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. When I did my Sephora bestsellers video, that primer broke me out through my cheeks, all through my forehead. I still have like a pimple here and here. So this is kind of toning those down a little bit. So it does look a little bit heavy right in through here and here on my chin. It looks a little bit dry. And I think that's just the NYX foundation, because the Essence from CoverGirl does leave a very luminous, very hydrated look to the skin, and I do like the finish. So I was kind of just playing around to see, but I think that maybe next time if I do this again, if it wears well, I'm going to scale back on the amount of the NYX foundation to maybe half a pump or just like a little smidgen, to see how I can kind of bump up the coverage and tone down the dewiness of the CoverGirl. Moving on to concealer, I'm doing the same little method with my end of the brush, digging out a little bit of the brightener. This is the Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener from e.l.f. And I took just a little bit out, and I'm going to use my BK Beauty brush to blend this in. This is the A506. And I'm going to push this into the skin and just kind of blend this into the under eye area. I feel like this is a pretty good brightener. I haven't had the best of luck with brighteners and correctors from the drugstore either. I tried some new ones from Physicians Formula, but they turned a little too orange. And for me personally, with my fair skin, I think that having a light pink tone like this is very brightening and also can be correcting as well. Or like a soft light peach, but the other ones that I have, they're just too dark. Even e.l.f. has another version of a brightener that is too deep for my fair skin, even though it's the lightest shade in that corrector range. So I don't really like that, but I will list it and link it for you down below in case you want a liquid corrector versus something a little bit thicker like this putty one, because they do have some other options, and it really does a nice job, really nice job at brightening. And for every day, like a no makeup look, I could definitely get away with just using this as my main concealer and nothing else. But I'm not doing that today because I want to use a little bit more concealer. And I'm going to go in with one of my favorites. It's the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer. I'm using the shade Vanilla today. And I'm just going to do 3 little dots. Going in with my beauty sponge and blending that right over the Putty Brightener. I'm going to set my under eye with some of the Milani Conceal and Perfect powder. This is the translucent shade in the Blur Out powder that came out recently. I would say it's been maybe just a couple of months. That's what the lid looks like. Comes in a jar. And I like how there is a cap that you have to kind of pull up, and it's attached on one end so you don't lose the cap. And it covers the powder from kind of spilling over. So it's a nice little added touch for a drugstore brand to include that. I do think that the powder does have a little bit of a tint. So I have to be kind of careful with this one because the first time I used it, I put a lot of powder thinking that it was going to be a little bit more translucent. And it is, but there's like a kind of yellow, almost like, kind of like a banana tint to it, right? Do you see that? Like, is it just me? But it says translucent, and they have this one, and I think they have a banana. And I thought, maybe it's just mislabeled because that doesn't look translucent to me. At least for someone with fair skin, you have to be a little bit careful with this, like not too much. And I don't just go under the eye. I kind of pull it down just a little bit where I have larger pores, because sometimes if I put too much, you can see it's not the same tone and it doesn't blend very well. So that's kind of odd how that has quite a bit of pigment. And even now I can see that right under here, it looks just a little bit darker than the rest of my face. So it's kind of a hit or miss for me. I'm not sure if this is something that I would continue to use. I'm going to use a little bit of my Milani Conceal and Perfect bronzer. It's supposed to be a contour, but the shade Honey is more of a bronzing kind of shade. So I'm just going to draw a line, little dots, a line, not being too careful with it really. And I'm going to blend this in with my NYX foundation brush. I'm going to use a powder over this. But this product is just so beautiful, this formula. I absolutely love this product from Milani. It's one of my favorites. So I've been doing my brows just a little bit different lately because I've been doing a lot of one shadow looks and keeping everything pretty simple and easy. So I started using the Maybelline Express Brow Tinted Brow Gel again. I've had this in my collection for a while. I have the shade Medium Brown. And I've actually been starting off with a tinted gel first, and then going in and adding a little bit of hair-like strokes with my Lift and Snatch from NYX, just in the areas where I feel like I need a little bit more. So this product from Maybelline, it has 2 different type of bristles. It's got some short ones, and then the top has some long ones. It almost looks like a toothbrush. Hopefully you can see it maybe there. And I start with the shorter end, which deposits the most color, and I will start by applying that as I would a clear brow gel. And then once I have that applied, I will then flip it to the side where it has longer, the toothbrush-like bristles, and then I will start to kind of comb up. And there's some space in between these bristles, so it's going to distribute the product that I've already applied, and then it's going to continue adding just a little bit more. This does have a pretty decent hold, so I don't have to use a lot of brow gel. And in fact, I could probably skip the brow gel entirely if I was really in a rush, or I wanted to eliminate a step just to be done quicker. Then I could just skip the brow gel, which is nice. So here's the brow with the tinted gel and the Lift and Snatch only. And then here is my brow with nothing, which doesn't look like a very good shaped brow, I will have to say. I've got a lot of stuff going on with these brows, but I'm trying to make it work and I'm just moving on. But this is what it looks like. And I have been doing this exact thing for the last couple of days, and I have enjoyed it. And I think it might be my kind of quick, easy brow routine going forward, because I do feel like I'm not missing out on something. I don't feel like my brows are not framing my face as they should be. So I like it. I'm going to do the other one off camera, and then we're moving on to blush, eyes, lips, some of the fun stuff that I want to play with. So I will be right back. I do want to add just a little bit more bronze, and I'm going to be pretty strategic with how much I'm going to use of this Physicians Formula Butter Glow. It's a bronzer and blush. I haven't used it as blush too much, but there is a little bit of a soft peach here, and these do have a sheen to it. This color here that's a little bit deeper is the matte out of all the shades, so I try to aim for that just to go over my Milani a little bit, and really not getting too close to this shade here because this does have a little bit of a sheen to it. It's not sparkly, glittery, but it's just kind of like a subtle, satiny kind of finish. So I'm going into the deeper side of the design that has more of a matte finish. Oh, and it smells so good. It smells like their butter bronzer. So if you're familiar with that, you know exactly what that smells like. To add a little bit of color to my cheeks, I'm going to use my Baked blush from Milani. This is in the shade Petal Primavera, and I like how these are baked, and it creates like a really soft, kind of very similar to the ambient powders from Hourglass, that just kind of soft, ethereal kind of sheen to the skin. Really, really pretty. Just like a soft wash, just keeping it just fresh and easy. This next product, I want to try it. I have not had a chance to use it. It's a liquid eyeshadow from the drugstore, and I'm not sure if this is going to crease or not. So here's what I did. I use my MAC Painterly Paint Pot, and I use that every single time I do my eyeshadow. I have to use a primer because I do have oily lids, and that is the primer that I use to kind of cancel out any discoloration, any veinings, and it works. I do have the Milani primer, and I've talked about not really liking this because this does crease on me for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because the consistency is just too oily. I don't know if I use too much or too little. It's just not working for me, and I just don't like how it's kind of feels oily. Slightly cheating here. It's the only product that is not drugstore that's in this video. Everything else is 100% drugstore. And the eyeshadow is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Liquid Eyeshadow. It's the Kelsea Ballerini collab. I love country music. I like Kelsea Ballerini, so I ordered a shade to try. It says shade number 2, and it's a really pretty kind of pinky rose gold shade. I'm not sure what the name is. I will list it for you and link it down below, but I'm excited. This does give me very much the Stila liquid eyeshadow vibes, doesn't it? So this could be the drugstore alternative to that, right? So I'm excited to try it. I want to take just a hint of bronzer from Physicians Formula to just add a little bit more color to my upper crease and lid area, and then go in with the eyeshadow just to kind of add some more dimension to my eye. But I'm not going to go heavy with it. I'm just going to take a crease brush and just take a little bit and go just real quick right into the crease area, blend it, and just kind of pull it up towards my temple where I have already the bronzer applied. And it's just very minimal, but it's a wash of color that really does kind of tie everything together. So as with most liquid and cream shadows, there's going to be some type of doe foot applicator. This one has a just kind of paddle style doe foot applicator. I don't like to use applicators directly onto my lids and then put them back for hygienic reasons, and also to kind of prolong the life of the product as it's sitting in my drawer. I like to work off of a makeup palette. So I did take some onto my palette, and I'm going to use a brush, and I'm going to start applying it. You could use the applicator directly. You could put it on the back of your hand, use your finger. You can do any method of application that works for you, but I like this method of using a palette and a brush. And I'm using my MAC 239 eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to just start applying this directly to my lids. Okay, so this has a little bit more pink than it looks in the packaging. I thought it was going to be a little bit more of like a rose gold. So it's a really soft, light pink with some silver sparkle that you can see. It's little glitter specks, but they're more refined and just smaller. They're not big chunky pieces, which I appreciate that it's not too glittery, but it's pretty. And holy smokes, this is already setting. So you do have to work quickly. And okay, so it kind of gathered there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not, okay. Maybe if I buff it, it'll, yeah. So if you buff it, it kind of works, but you do have to work quickly. And I would recommend, just off of this experience, to do one eye at a time and just do light, thin layers. So I had to apply more of the shadow to my palette because what I had left was already dry and it wasn't picking up with the brush. So again, the best tip that I can give you is to work one eye at a time and work quickly because this does have a quick dry down. For a little bit more color on my lower lash line, I want to take the bronzer that I use on my face and apply just a little bit of that just so that the under eye is not completely bare and almost kind of like non-existent. I want a little bit of color, and I thought the best way to do this is with the bronzer that I already use on my face, and I'm using a BK Beauty 210 brush for this step. Revlon came out with some new products over the last couple of months. They came out with some new additions to the Super Lustrous lipsticks, which I do have some to share with you today. And I cannot wait to try those on. But they also came out with some other products like the Serum Skin Tint that I've already reviewed. And then the new multiplayer eyeliners. These are Liquid Glide eye pencils. I chose the shade 402 High Stakes, which is a deep dark brown. And the pencil itself looks exactly like the color on the outside, which is great. This has a different type of applicator. It's an actual brush, which is pretty neat. When I saw this in person after ordering it, I immediately thought of the Makeup by Mario eyeliner pencils. I'm not saying that the formula is going to be the same because I haven't used this yet, but the style is similar to the Makeup by Mario eyeliners there is a brush end for smudging, which I thought was pretty genius that Makeup by Mario did that, but now it's nice to see that the Drugstore is doing the same. So I'm going to take some of this. It's a really dark, rich brown, and I'm going to just glide this. Whoa, that just, okay. Wow, wow, wow. I barely put any pressure, barely any pressure. And it's just super creamy. Wow. Okay. That went on like butter. Okay. Okay, Revlon, I see you. I'm going to get a more stiff brush to blend because I think this is just going to be a little too soft for my preference. So I'm going to try to find, here it is, my BK Beauty 204. It's kind of like a smudgy type of brush. It's perfect for this. And I'm just going to work this back and forth and kind of soften that color because that was pretty intense. Wow. I'm also going to use this to tightline as well to see how well it wears and if I get any transfer. I'm finishing the eyes with the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara. I love this mascara. This is what the tube looks like. It's a black tube with silver writing on it, and this gives me dramatic lashes. Thick, long, separated lashes. Lots of drama, so I love, love this formula. So here's the completed eye look. I did 2 coats of the mascara and I did the same one on the lower lashes. So as that dries, I'm going to move on to my face highlighter, and I'm going to use the Butter Glow liquid highlighter from Physicians Formula. This was actually a free gift with purchase when you spent a certain amount on the website. I got this several months ago and I haven't even tried it yet. So I did squeeze some out on my makeup palette, and I'm going to apply that with a brush. And I'm going to use the Real Techniques 242 brush. This is actually a brightening concealer brush, but it's perfect for liquid highlighters, even powder highlighters. And can you believe that I have yet to try this formula from Physicians Formula? I can't. And it does, yep, there's that scent again. And I'm just going to tap this in just lightly, and this brush is perfect for liquid highlighter. And I'm going to do just a little bit, again, not wanting to overload too much emollient products over this foundation mixture today. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Okay, it's really soft, maybe because of the brush, but the formula seems really lightweight. I'm just gonna pat. It feels kind of a little cooling. I think it's just because it's a really kind of liquidy formula, so it just feels more wet, but I don't really feel that too much here. I think it does set down, but it gives a really soft glow. I wonder what that would look like under foundation. I may have to try that. Moving on to lips, I'm so excited to try a new lipstick. Revlon came out with some new shades to expand their Super Lustrous lipsticks, which are a classic staple at the drugstore, and that range has, I want to say I read online that's over 70 shades. I have to go back and kind of see and research that, but it is an extensive range of colors from nudes to reds, to pinks, to berries, you name it, Revlon has it. So they recently came out with some new shades. I ordered some from Ulta's website. I only ordered 3 to start just because I can easily get carried away with lip products, especially from the drugstore. They tend to be a lot more affordable, although these were quite pricey at Ulta. I want to say they were like $10 and change a piece. So I picked up 3. I have Afterglow, which is number 801, and that's the more peachy one. Then I have the Candied Rose, which is the pink shade, and it's a cream finish. Afterglow is a pearl finish, by the way. And then 802 Daylight Delight, which is a cream finish, and that is a kind of more nude. That's the one that I want to use today. But they're so pretty. I will insert some swatches that I will film and do off camera and then insert them into the video so you can see them. But I really want to try 802, which is Daylight Delight, and I cannot wait. I have my Revlon lip liner, the Colorstay lip liner in Nude. I love this, so I think I may do just a little bit of this just to kind of create the shape of my lip, and then we will go in with some of the lipsticks. So I'm going to start with this first. It matches the lip liner almost to a T. Wow. Wowee. That's Daylight Delight with the Nude lip liner. I love this color, and I think it kind of plays well. I don't know. You tell me. How does the lip color look with the sort of pinky tone? Maybe I should have done Candied Rose instead. Maybe that would have been a better... You know what? Let's just put some on. Why not? Ooh. What do you think now? This is the Candied Rose 805 over the top. Isn't that pretty? I feel like it added a hint of pink to it, but I feel like it also kind of deepened it by adding a little bit of a rose tone to it. So I really like these. I am so excited. And here is the completed look. What do you guys think? I think I am totally satisfied with how everything looks. I like the complexion, which is a shock. I like a complexion-based product from the drugstore because I don't get along with drugstore foundations very well, or skin tints to be exact. I don't really like them very much. They don't work with me very well. To share with you what my face looked like at the end of the day, since I was already filming the lip swatches for the Revlon lipsticks. So here is after almost 10 hours of wear, and the only issue that I saw was that the eyeliner was actually transferring to the inner tear duct area. I think I may have gotten too close to that area when I was applying the liner, since it is so creamy and so soft. But the eyeshadow itself kind of faded slightly, but it didn't crease, which is great. But the only problem with this look is the inner corner. So I'm going to kind of work with that next time and not go so close to the inner corner and just stop shy of that area so I don't have any transfer. But as you can see, I'm looking in the mirror and kind of trying to point out any other things that may have gone wrong with the look. But overall, that's really the only thing. I mean, you can still see my skin, the texture. It's my skin, it's just how it is. But I hope that this was helpful for you to see a bit more up close of the final result after wearing it for about 10 hours or so. So this is it. I will list everything down below, link it for you if you want to try it for yourself. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here, for spending some of your day with me today. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and you can also follow me on Instagram. It's here on the screen. I'll see you there. Take care, and I'll catch you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.